Camp. I'm the Deputy City Manager for the City of Atlantic Beach. Welcome. For those who don't already know, we're filled with a bunch of fine FEMA folks, so we're so proud to have y'all. Boy, they responded to Atlantic Beach, didn't they? Truly welcome. We are videotaping this in the event that after it's said and done, we think there'll be some value in sharing it with the community. I'd like for everyone to know that our Mayor, Mitch Reeves, is here with us. Our Mayor-elect, Ellen Glasser, is here. Commissioner-elect Candace Kelly is here. Thank all of y'all for being here. I'm going to get out of the way and let the people who know what they're talking about talk. We're going to start with Todd, who will take it over from here. Thanks.
And I'm not one of them that knows what I'm talking about, but I'm in the Office of External Affairs. And with FEMA, we brought a few of the folks that can probably answer the questions that you have. They're subject matter experts in their specific field, and the primary focus for you is what's going on with your individual households. You were impacted. We were invited by the state of Florida to come in. This is a Florida disaster. It's a local disaster that's supported by FEMA. It's not a FEMA disaster. So we often say, oh, FEMA does this or FEMA does that. Well, FEMA does these things by law and is directed by the state, is directed by the local community, because contrary to your belief, the federal government doesn't have every answer. The truth is, you know more about your community and what you need. So what we do is try to find the program that fits in with what your actual needs are. So the individuals we brought here today are going to talk about individual assistance, the kind of assistance you get for your particular household or your neighborhood. We're going to talk about SBA. And SBA are those loans that can help you get back on your feet and get beyond some of the devastation that you've actually experienced recently. And NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program, as well as hazard mitigation, talking about floodplain management, what you can do, some steps you can do to help your current situation, and steps you can take for the future. So without carrying on too long, I want to thank you again for inviting us here, and we'll go to the real experts. Candy.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to do it sitting down? Probably more comfortable.
I don't know. I can do this. I'll just try to run through this quickly. Everybody in here, I assume that it's had home damage is applied for assistance? Maybe, or thinking about it, or... Okay, just to run through real quickly some things. I have my notes here so I don't stray into the weeds too much. But just to run over our programs really quickly, these are things that you probably already know. FEMA can provide financial assistance to help you find a temporary place to live while your home's being repaired, or to relocate if you are a pre-disaster renter. You can also reimburse temporary lodging expenses that you may have had in a hotel or motel situation, out-of-pocket expenses. We can also provide assistance for emergency home repairs. This assistance is not intended to make you whole. It's only intended to give you a step up. We kind of leave our further bigger assistance to our partners with SBA. But we can also provide assistance for disaster-related medical or dental expenses, and if there's any loss of life that occurs in your family, we can also help with funeral expense support. Also in that, we can also provide assistance for personal property loss, vehicles, that type of thing. Like some of the things here with SBA can do a lot more, and she will speak on that shortly. Things you may not know. We have very strong partnerships. They're very strong collaborative partnerships with other federal agencies like SBA and also non-governmental organizations. These take place at federal, state, and local levels in these partnerships, and it helps build a whole community recovery process. So everyone is involved. If you do have any unmet needs that either FEMA financial assistance or SBA financial assistance cannot support, it's a pretty good chance that one of the non-governmental agencies can help you with that. those type of unmet needs. They do everything from starting in the beginning, from sheltering and feeding that you've seen, to providing manpower for cutting up, chainsaw crews can cut up debris in the yard and take it to the cove. And longer term, they also have manpower that can support repair and rebuilding. So they're very, very, very valuable asset. Again, if you have, if you have any of these type of unmet needs, please call Florida 211. Okay, disaster unemployment assistance. If you have job loss or interruption that's disaster related, you can also contact the Florida State Department of Economic Opportunity, their local office, or go to their website, which is www.floridajobs.org. They also have an 800 number, 800-385-3920. We help fund disaster-related unemployment assistance that will help extend if you happen to be unemployed and your previous employer has paid into the employment stuff and your 26 weeks, let's say, expires. And we can help take that unemployment assistance further, or if you're self-employed and weren't actually eligible for regular unemployment assistance, this will support that. What else do we have? Rumors. FEMA does not provide assistance for spoiled food. I know that's a rumor that you even see it in the press sometimes, but in fact we do not provide assistance for spoiled food. The other one, FEMA does not run out of money. Sometimes we hear that the money's going to run out with FEMA, and this is not true. Congress ensures that we have sufficient funding to support disaster recovery. So I'm just going to go back to the reminders. If you guys have not applied for assistance, please do so at disasterassistance.gov, which is the most expedient way to do it, or our 800 number, which is 1-800-621-3362. I will admit there is I hear hour to hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours hold on the 800 number. That's why we highly recommend that you go to disasterassistance.gov to apply. Other than that, we also have folks over here that can help you with that if you have not applied. And I will be around also to answer additional questions that you may have.
You're going to come up with a couple questions. Some of you have registered, some of you have not. Registration's easy to cover. Those of you have not, or that have registered and have questions, or you're not sure if you should register, these are the folks that can help you with it. We also have our whole group of folks here that can answer some of the basic questions, but to look into your particular case, we have the ability to do that also. And that'll be privately, just one-on-one. The group questions that you may have, if you have a question that you think applies to everyone, go ahead and ask it here. It's a close group, so it's fine. If you have something specific on your case, we'll be staying around after this just to answer any individual things, and specifically, if you've already registered, we'll look into it directly. And Adrian with the FBA.
Thank you.
Well, can I have one recourse here?
All
A rumor that is true. It is taking a long time to complete home inspections. If any of you guys have unfortunately gone through this process before, you probably know that an inspector, you probably have your home inspected, you want more quickly, it's occurring now. Please bear with us on this. It is taking up to 30 days to get an inspector to your home. It's just it's a resource thing. So, anyway, please bear with us.
No worries, that's important. Good evening, my name's Adrian Lenieve. I'm a Public Affairs Specialist with the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance. I know everybody's sitting there going, well, I'm not a business, why is she here? Hello. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I am now going to be your second favorite person ever. Okay, when you first have damage, your first recourse is always register with FEMA. I cannot stress that enough. If you had damage, you were affected, please, please, please register, okay? We are the second step in the process. We are here to assist both homeowners, renters, businesses, non-for-profits that include organizations of faith. Basically, if you're impacted, you're going to be seeing me at some point in time. Most of you will, okay? You're going to first register with FEMA because you want to see what assistance they can give you. And again, safe, secure, and sanitary, that is their job, and they do awesome jobs at it. I am here for your long-term recovery. Most of you will be referred to me for small business disaster loans or, SBA says, you've been referred to the SBA for low interest disaster loan consideration. That is on your letter from them. Usually it's on the back after you unfold it. I never make it above the fold line. I don't know why. Because we're important, okay? We need to evaluate you for our program. I'm not saying you have to take a loan. I'm not here to sell you a loan. I'm here to tell you, you really need, if you've been referred to me, it is critical that you complete that application and get it back to me. The reason being is because if my program is not a good fit for you, I am going to get you back to FEMA for possible additional grant consideration. What that means is that if you've been referred to me and you choose not to complete that SBA disaster loan application, you are choosing to no longer request federal assistance. You are stopping the process, and we're here to help you. Please let me evaluate you. Again, if our program's not a good fit for you, I'm going to get you right back to where you need to be. But let's talk about why I am here and what I do have to offer. For homeowners, we offer low-interest disaster loans. These can be up to $200,000 to repair or replace your damaged primary residence. The interest rate can be as low as 1.75% for terms up to 30 years. Think that through for a second. Not free money, but that interest rate, we're getting pretty close. Keep in mind this is direct lending, which means I am not answering to bank shareholder, I am answering to taxpayers, which means no application fee, no origination fee, no fees apply. I'm just seeing that I evaluate you, and then I'm going to offer you a loan to get you taken care of. The first $25,000 of our loan is a signature loan. I require absolutely no collateral. After that, as good stewards of the taxpayer money, we must take an interest if collateral is available. What that means is that if your house floated down the St. Johns River and you've got no collateral, am I going to deny you? No. SBA will never deny for lack of collateral. If you have a house and you have 6 mortgages on it, can I take 7th position? Absolutely. I'm going to do what I'm going to need to do to help you out, and that's what we do. Personal property, we can cover up to $40,000. So that means both homeowners and renters can get up to $40,000. Again, this may cover vehicles or the stuff within the house. So it's very important that you get that application and take a look at it, and we can see what we can do. One of the other things that is important is everybody comes up to me and they're like, oh, but my credit, oh my gosh, it's terrible. I'm not looking for an 800 credit score. If you got one, fantastic, great for you. Most people don't. We understand that. So you're going to look at credit that is acceptable to the SBA. What does that mean? That means you need to show me that you have the ability to repay the loan. That's being a good steward of the taxpayer money, and we're going to assist with your loan and your repair work. What can this money be used for, you're asking? Not going to Vegas. I'm just going to say that. I'm all for sporting tourism, but we can't do that with this money. What we can do, and what you're going to have the ability to do, is we're going to give you the money to repair your roof or replace your roof, whatever is needed. We're going to give you money to fix it inside. If code says you must elevate, I'm going to give you money back to code, so you're going to build back to code, which means you will be able to elevate. If you want the money because you want to elevate, or you want to get a backflow check valve, or you want to get something, the shut-off valves, or the storm shutters that helps to prevent this, guess what? I'm going to be able to help you with that too. We'll look at your verified loss and we'll increase the loan by 20% to be able to help you do just that. So either way we go, we're helping you repair your home and make it stronger. Try to make me not come back again. I'm okay with this. I'll come and visit, not after work. That's all right. Do what we need to do to get you in a home the pre-disaster condition, all right? I will make one other small comment because, of course, we are SBA here, so we do assist businesses. Keep in mind, what is a business? Could be a rental property, could be if you're a crafter in your own home making stuff and then you sell it, that's fine, you're a business. We can assist businesses up to $2 million for the physical damage, or if you're a small business, we can add $2 million for economic injury. That was what resulted with the power outages. So we do all those loans, the interest rate is 3.305% for terms up to 30 years. Okay? So I will put that one on. If you have any businesses or you are a business and you want some assistance, guess what? We're here to help you as well. But remember, if you remember nothing else from tonight, I want you to remember FEMA, dark blue, start with them. SBA, light blue, we're step 2 in the process. Okay? Thanks. I'll be around if you have questions.
Now you know why we invite her. She's a lot of personality. She has money. She makes us look good. She brings us up the hole. We're pretty fond of SBA. And Jeff.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Gross, I'm with the Insurance Division, and that's National Flood Insurance Program. Now, has anybody gotten flooded here during this particular event? All right, so you guys dodged the bullet, because this Hurricane Irma that came up could have come here as easily as it went down to the Keys. It was just a matter of a little zig and a zag down by the Cuba. So having flood insurance is valuable for not only a hurricane, but for other events. You can have the flooding that we had in Houston was not from a large hurricane, it was a tropical storm. It just happened to hang around, and it flooded a lot of places that weren't normally in a flood zone. You can get flood insurance for any building that you have on your property, and you don't have to be in a high-risk area. You can be in a normal risk area, and you can still get flood insurance. It's less expensive. It's a preferred policy if you're not in a high-risk zone. So think about getting flood insurance even if you're not in a hurricane, because you can get flood. It doesn't have to be a disaster to be taken care of. You can use your flood insurance if a flood is declared in your area. You can have a flood from somebody running over a fire hydrant and flooding up your whole neighborhood. As long as you've got flood insurance, you're going to be covered. Cost of flood insurance can be expensive, but you're going to get a lot for it. You're going to get up to $250,000 if you need that for your house. And if you elevate your house, you get discounts in your flood insurance. Okay? You can buy insurance from just about any insurance agent out there. So if you have your home insured and you have a federally backed loan, you're probably already required to carry flood insurance. People come in. We're talking about flood insurance here if you just got in, so come on in and sit down. So you're going to insure your house, and you also can insure your contents. They're two separate coverages on the same policy. If you don't own your home and you're just a renter, you can just cover your contents by themselves. You're going to get replacement coverage on your house in certain situations. You get actual cash value depending on how you have the home insured. If you have questions on that, you can ask your agent. When it comes to FEMA, you're going to apply to your aid. You're going to get your individual assistance, but also file your insurance claim first. And then if there's anything that's not covered by insurance, then you go down to the SBA people. And then there's always ways to get some coverage on the back end there. You also can get coverage for the increased cost of construction if your house is deemed that's been substantially damaged and you've got some other issues and the state wants you to, or the county wants you to rebuild in certain codes. You can get additional cost of $30,000 to build to that code. Disaster assistance versus flood insurance. You're going to get a little bit of money from the disaster assistance, but without flood insurance, you're not going to get the whole house rebuilt with what you're going to get there. By having your flood insurance, you've got yourself a lot better backup. So I would recommend that if you're thinking about just relying on the disaster assistance, you may get flooded without the state declaring a disaster. They're not going to be here. Flood insurance will always be here whether or not there's a disaster declared. So keep that in mind. So you have a federally backed loan, you're going to have to carry flood insurance, but I would recommend that you really get something or look into it. It's not that expensive if you're not in a high-risk zone. You'd be surprised at how little it can cost for that peace of mind. And that's what insurance is there for. For peace of mind, the last thing you want to do is lose a beautiful house and have to start from scratch or have to repay the loan. If you already paid insurance, you're going to get your money back. So, you have any questions, we'll be people in the back for flood questions. Even if you don't have a policy, if you have any questions on how it works, we'll be glad to help you out on that. Thank you.
I live in Denver, Colorado. It's 5,280 feet, pretty much, about a mile. And we have flood insurance on our house. We're not trying to sell you flood insurance. It's just one of those things that comes up. We spend a good deal of time with FEMA in places that are at sea level. It's very common. I spend most half my year in Louisiana because I travel full-time with FEMA to disasters. So I love Cajun food, so that's all good. I'm happy with that. But it's one of those things you need to consider. It's fairly inexpensive in most places, but for what it covers, it's pretty worthwhile.
You mentioned Denver. I live in Carson City, Nevada. I mean, that's a desert.
There's no water there at all.
We actually had a flood disaster declared this year in Nevada because we actually got flooded because we had riverine flooding and alluvial fan flooding. But people got flooded that never got flooded before. And they were calling me. I'm an insurance agent also, and I was getting a lot of calls from people that have been nervous. One other thing I wanted to mention is that you have a 30-day waiting period. So if you see a storm coming 2 weeks from now, you're not going to be able to get your flood insurance in time to buy the policy. Get the policy enforced before anything happens, and you have that peace of mind. So it can happen in the desert. It's definitely going to happen here in Florida. Next time it may not zigzag into Cupid before it comes up here. So.
All right.
Are you
And
taking,
now,
are you taking?
All right.
pardon me? Yes, we are. We're gonna take questions at the very end.
Okay.
But for the mayor, we'll take questions now.
You know, I just want them all to know if they really want to get funding, don't go to the blue shirts, just come right here.
Right there. Excellent, excellent. Howard?
My name is Howard Freeman. I'm actually a local guy. I started to not come in when I see all the cars out there, but luckily they weren't all for us. Anyway, I've been floodplain management. Like I said, I live here in Jacksonville, and I was here when Matthew hit, and now I'm back here. I just left Texas and came straight here. What we do mostly is work with the local floodplain administrator. We do damage assessments or assist the floodplain management with it. It's their responsibility to do it. If they're overwhelmed, we come in and help them. The inspection, so to speak, that we do is different than the IA people. What we're doing is we only inspect or worry about structures that are in the floodplain and got substantially damaged. Okay, so that's pretty detailed explanation, and I won't bore you with all that, but I've already met with the local official here in Atlantic Beach, and the damages they had didn't meet that criteria, and they didn't need our assistance. If you'd like more information on that, I'd be glad to provide it, but I won't go into something that probably doesn't even pertain to you guys. This is a pretty long, drawn-out process. But anyway, like I said, after it's over, got any questions, I'll be glad to talk to you.
Okay,
Actually, can I?
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
We call them allies.
Yeah, I have an alibi here. There is the talk about the insurance. Keep in mind, if you have insurance, please still register with FEMA. If you do not have insurance, please still register with FEMA. No ifs, ands, or buts. One way or another, please register with FEMA. Now, while they may have to wait, and they will tell you they cannot duplicate benefits, so they will have to wait to see what happens with your insurance company. Guess what? I'm a loan. I don't have to do that. I can actually start your loan process, get you some working capital, and get your recovery started if you need more time to work with your insurance company. So do not wait. Remember, dark blue, FEMA, light blue, SBA, you're going to be singing this in your sleep, I guarantee you. Remember, register, register, register. If you were impacted, I don't care if you have insurance, don't have insurance, think your neighbor needs it more than you, not sure on what you need, maybe you're not sure about the damage, does not matter. Register, complete that SBA loan application.
There are a number of people who think that if I register and I didn't have that much damage, it's gonna take some money away from someone else. It's not. There's plenty of money there. I think they just gave us another $6.2 billion for the floods that just occurred. So you're not taking it out of someone else's hand. There's also other issues. When we talk about flood insurance, there's so many rumors about generators. You've heard, oh, can I get reimbursed for a generator? You may be reimbursed for a generator if in fact you need it for medical assistance. So if there's something you need and your doctor said, I need that, and you needed to keep it running, that's valid. That's used for either repair of a generator or even a new purchase. It's worth asking. There's people that are in neighborhoods that have individual access to that neighborhood. It's a private neighborhood. private road going into it, but there's only one ingress and egress. If that's the case, and it was damaged by the storm, you may be able to come together, even if none of your homes were damaged, come together as a group and register. And I know it sounds like register, and I always think, I don't want to register with the federal government. I was a state government for a long time. So we never trust the federal government. So you register with FEMA, you get together, ask the question. You don't have to register to ask the question, but ask the question, and there are opportunities. In fact, Kenny was just teaching us about it, for you to get some FEMA money to help repair your private road. You gotta remember the chainsaw. Chainsaws are a funny thing. People talk about, can I get reimbursed for a chainsaw? Or can I get my old chainsaw repaired and then get reimbursed for it? If a tree fell on your house, well, and you're taking the effort to actually cut the tree up, get it off your house, you could be reimbursed for a chainsaw. If a tree fell in front of your house, in front of your car, and it's the only car to get to and from work, you can possibly get reimbursed for that chainsaw. You have to remember, FEMA is trying to get you back on the road. And everything that all the efforts we're making are to bring you back to a place where you're actually able to take care of yourself. You're your best advocate. And so if there's some things that you can do or that you needed to do to get yourself back on your feet, to get yourself back into your house, to get yourself back to work, there's a good chance FEMA will reimburse you for it. All right, why don't we take some, yes,
Can you
ma'am?
give the website to register one more time, please?
Yes.
disasterassistance.gov. So it's www.disasterassistance.gov.
I have some flyers, actually, we usually have some in here, but I have some in my car. Oh, thank you. Is it Spanish, Creole?
Spanish and English.
Excellent, okay. There's some flyers. Questions? Why don't we take some questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes, sir.
Schedule conflict. It's really to the flooding